Welcome to the FX Trading Sensei. In this video, we begin a series of teachings on basics for Forex trading. This video is an introduction to Japanese candlesticks, and we're at Lesson 1, Part 1. Listen now. Welcome to the Forex Trading Sensei, and you're looking at our first video in a series of videos where we'll be covering different aspects about trading. This one covers the Japanese candlesticks. So what we'll be doing, we'll be covering several aspects of it. In this video, we'll focus on price action, or the price points really that are represented by the candlestick. Before I get into those points, I just want to show you a couple of things. If you're new to trading and you've just started out, and you've logged into your trading platform for the first time, your chart will not look like this. You'll probably see 4 charts on your screen, and each one, of course, will be a different color background than you're seeing here. So in order to customize your chart, you just right-click on the chart and go to Properties. Once you get to Properties, you will see a window that comes up that will allow you to customize your colors. And those you can change here. It's also suggested you go to the Common tab, and you can select if you would like to use a line chart or a bar chart, but we use candlesticks. And you can also select to show the ask line, which is the red line you're seeing here. And then you can also uncheck the grid if you don't want the grid. So this gives you several different options. And you could also select if you want the chart on the background of any drawing tools or indicators you put on your chart, or if you want the chart to auto scroll, meaning that as time progresses, the chart will automatically reset itself. So the candlesticks will always be visible on your screen. So this is the initial setup of your chart, so you can see what the chart looks like and change your colors accordingly. The other little point I want to show you is in reference to some functions that are in the axes that you see here. So on your chart, the vertical axis, is the price. So the price is on the vertical axis and time is on the horizontal axis. So price is unfolding from left to right. But if you want to make the candlesticks larger or smaller, all you need to do is put your cursor in the time section, this time axis here, left click and scroll to the right to make larger, or scroll to the left to make them smaller. So that is how you can adjust the candlesticks as far as the size of them. And then on the vertical axis, if you put your cursor in this axis, left click and drag, you can actually make it shorter or make them taller to a certain maximum height. Now, there are times when you may have very large or volatile moves in the market, and the candlesticks, some of the smaller candlesticks will get very tiny and you can't see them. So what you would need to do in that case is just double click in the axis, and it should adjust them accordingly once that larger candlestick is no longer visible on your chart. Another way, of course, you can increase the candlestick size would be to use your plus or minus symbols on your keyboard. That would also adjust the size of the candlestick. All right, so that takes care of those little details to get you started. So what I want to focus on now is the candlestick itself. And this is our first lesson on Japanese candlesticks. These were introduced by Steve Nissen, who brought it to the Western world from the Japanese. So let us look now. I'm just going to magnify the candlestick a bit just to give you a little bit more of a clearer visual so you can see exactly what is happening. So notice that this candle is the only candle that's moving. This is the ask line and this is the bid line. So this is the one I added, the red ask line. The difference between the two is called the spread. So if I were to buy, if I placed a buy order now, my order price would fall at the ask, whatever the current ask is at the time. If I placed a market order, I would be buying here at this ask line. When I'm ready to sell, whatever the bid price is at that point in time, that is where my sell order would go. Now notice that this candle, like I said, is the only one that's moving. Every other candle, notice, is stationary. So this candle has already expired. This is a 5-minute chart. So each candlestick here represents 5 minutes. So for as long as this candlestick is active, which would be for a 5-minute period, you will see the price fluctuating and this candlestick would move accordingly. When 5 minutes have been completed, this candle will freeze or just stop moving and a new candlestick would begin. So whenever you look at a chart, the candlestick to the very right of the chart is always the current candle, the one that's active, the one that's moving. Now there are 4 price points that you would get from a candlestick. Now the first price point you would get is the opening price. So when this candlestick has been completed and it stops, another candlestick begins. And that opening price is represented by the lower line right here. This horizontal line is what represents this current candle's opening price. Now the reason the body of this candle is green is because the current price, which is the one that's moving here, is higher than where it started. So the opening price would be right here, this horizontal line. And as long as the price continues to move above this opening price, this candlestick would be green. And it's green because that is how I customize the colors to show the bullish candles as green and the bearish candles as red. So it starts with the opening price. Thus far, the lowest price that this time frame, this candlestick has given us is the bottom of this wick or shadow, this vertical line here, below the body, which is the colored part. This vertical line, the end of it, is the low price, the lowest price it's gone to. And at the moment we have this, the price, the top price here is the high. So this is the low and this is the high. Notice this candlestick just closed. It's no longer moving. And this horizontal line here is the closing price. This is the new candle that will function for the next 5 minutes. So we have 4 price points that are given by each candlestick: an opening price, a closing price, the high, which is the very top of this wick, and the low, which is the bottom of this wick. Now there is a difference when you have a red candle, or what we call a bearish candle. So here we have, right next to it, a candle where the body is red. So what's the difference? Well, in this case, of course, we have the high price, which is the same concept as here. The top of the shadow is the high price. The lowest price is the one at the bottom of the wick. But notice the body is red. So what that means is that the price opened here at this horizontal level and dropped to this level. That's where it's closed. So the candlestick body is red because it ended lower than where it started. And you can see right now, this candlestick is currently red because it started here where this one closed, but now it's lower. So notice what happened here. Where this price closed is almost exactly where this price opened. And that is normally what you would expect to see. However, there are times when the price would gap. So meaning the price may have closed here, but then the next candle may actually start here and you'll see a gap in price. And that can happen when the market is moving very quickly or if there's a problem with the data feed from your broker. So just keep that in mind that you may see instances like that where there is a gap in price. So let's go now to a 15-minute chart. This is actually a 5-minute chart, so I'm going to another time frame. And please keep in mind that even though I'm switching to another time frame, the price is still moving at the same rate at the same time on all time frames. So if the price moves 1 pip on this particular time frame, it is also moving the same 1 pip at the same time on another time frame. So here we have a 15-minute chart. Remember, the candlestick to the very right is the current candlestick. So on this 15-minute chart, this is the active candle. So the previous candles we were looking at on the 5-minute chart are all summarized or reflected in this one candle. Now let's go to an hourly chart. So on an hourly chart, this candlestick actually is absorbing all of the data of the other candlesticks we were looking at and giving us a bigger picture. And that is something I want to communicate to you very early, is that the longer time frames will give you the overall picture or the bigger picture, and the shorter time frames will give you the minute detail of how it's unfolding. Now, that being said, there are many new traders that gravitate towards scalping or shorter term time frames, and that's okay if you understand what you're doing. However, keep in mind that you should also be aware of what is happening on the longer time frame, simply because you can see here that the price is moving up according to this hourly chart, and you may be tempted, if you see a red candle on a 1-minute or a 5-minute chart, to go and sell or short, not realizing that the market is actually pushing to go up. And you may find yourself in losing trades unnecessarily. So be sure that you look at the longer time frame as well to confirm the overall direction of price. So this video sums up the basics of what I wanted to share. Going forward, we will cover other topics on candlesticks, technical analysis, etc. We cover a lot of different bits of information. So look forward to our next video, which will be lesson 1, part 2, where we continue our discussions on candlesticks. So if you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe below so you'll be notified when we have other videos posted, as well as some of our live sessions, our live trading sessions, to help traders deal with the trading psychology aspect. Please note you're free to make comments and to give any thoughts you may like to share, any questions that you have. You may do that below. And also please check the description page. You will see that we have some added features there for you to assist you in your trading. So we look forward to seeing you in lesson 1, part 2.